Engine 48 on scene of a two-story educational facility. We have nothing showing. We'll be investigating. We have an audible alarm. Engine 48 on scene, nothing showing. Engine 28.
Hello, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I thought I'd better do a quick update show so that you know I still exist. Let me turn this radio down first. Okay, as many of you probably know, here in Florida we experienced a hurricane. Luckily for us, we're down here in Pinellas County, and the hurricane went up through Appalachia. Yeah, up through here. Up through this little corner right here, called Big Bend, and now it's proceeded up to Atlanta, Georgia, heading towards Atlanta, and it was barely a hurricane. They thought for a long time it would not escalate to a hurricane, but yesterday it finally escalated to a hurricane. And what I've been doing for the last, 4 days at least, is watching the rain. It's just been raining constantly, totally overcast every day. I tried listening to shortwave and it was just dead. Of course, all my outside antennas are wet, so that will negate any listening capability. And I just keep thinking, it's going to clear, and it kept taking its good old time coming this way. They've been watching it for almost 2 weeks now, and it slowly came into the Gulf of Mexico, and it just barely moved for several days, and finally just took off and headed right to the panhandle of Florida. So anyway, what I've been doing besides just watching the rain come down is I watch our power company's website, and it tells you what the current power outages are on this map. And as you can see, one of the big areas affected is down here in Pinellas County, and I can zoom in on that, I think. Yeah, there we go. And it's really not too bad considering we didn't have, in Pinellas County, we didn't have high winds consistently. We had some gust. I think there was one gust up to 78 miles an hour, but the average wind was about 35 to 40 maybe. And so we didn't have too many outages. We, here at our house, we had a flicker. The lights just flickered one time during the early morning this morning, and that was about it, just enough to turn everything off, and now everything has to be reset. I have to deal with that later on. So we did pretty good. We fared pretty good. We did get a lot of rain. Some areas here, they got 2 feet of rain, and of course they're showing on TV now where the problem areas are and where people's houses are flooded. We bought a house that's considered to be on a hill, although there are not really hills in Florida, but it's 65 feet above sea level. So we usually don't have any flooding, and it drains very well right down the street in front of our house. It drains. So we didn't have any problems there. We had a back door that the rain was so heavy and so strong that it was leaking. So we got a little water on the back porch. Anyway, moving on. This is the Pinellas County Emergency Services website, and they list the things that are going on. And the big thing that's going on is there's a big structure fire. See if I can, I don't know how to do it here. down on Gulf to Bay. They've got a lot of people been working that all morning long. I think this started maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just heard what you might have heard on my tablet. I got the tablet running a scanner program, and it's what's on that particular radio that I'm using on the internet is the Pinellas County Fire and EMS. And what they were doing just now is they were relieving crews that had been battling this structure fire and the mess associated with it, and bringing in new crews in the morning here. So that's what was going on there. Again, not too bad considering we had the outer fringes of a pretty bad storm. So we really were lucky, and we haven't had a hurricane in Florida for a long time. I think it's been 5 or 6 years or more. This is the first one that actually hit Florida. And they thought it wasn't going to be a hurricane, and it strengthened just enough, got up to 80 miles an hour to declare it a hurricane. Okay, now what I was going to do this week, and let's go to Amazon. One of my subscribers who wishes to remain anonymous sent me one of these brand new dongles, these SDR dongles, so you can use it as a software-defined radio. And this one, I've seen a couple of reviews of it on YouTube, and this one tunes supposedly, down here it says 500 kilohertz to 1.7 gigahertz with a 3.2 megahertz bandwidth. So you can watch a section of those frequencies that is 3.2 megahertz wide. Now, if you recall, my Fifi SDR, which sells for $150, it only has, this type of bandwidth is only 192 kilohertz. So this has a tremendous wide swath of frequencies that you can watch on the display semi-real time. And this one only sells for $24.95. And you can get them. I didn't realize that they were carrying these on Amazon. I had read a review about a week or so ago on one of the, I think it was on SWLING website, about this, and saying, you know, it was a pretty good little SDR, and it was very reasonably priced, and you could get it off of eBay. So I was checking eBay the same day that this gentleman sent me a message and said, expect one of these in the mail. I bought you one to review. So bingo. Great coincidence. So I played with it, and I've used 3 or 4 different software packages with it. Seemed to get all of them working, but I was unable to really determine how well it works in the HF band, in the shortwave band. And the reason being is of the storms, I didn't want to hook up an external antenna. So what I did hook up is one of the two, comes with 2 antennas, and I think the longer one extends about 3 feet. So I tried that one, and knowing conditions weren't that good anyway, because I tried for about 30 seconds, I tried my Texan 750, my Grundig 750 with an external antenna, and I couldn't even get WWV on any frequency. So I was unable to really test the capability of this SDR on HF. I did test it using that telescopic antenna on VHF, and it worked fine. I could receive NOAA weather, no problems whatsoever. I could receive FM stations, no problems. So it was working, And we're going to see when this weather finally clears how it works on the HF band. So again, there are already some reviews out there on this, and they all were pretty positive. Now, there are the confusing factors. There's other ones out there, especially on eBay, that look like this one. This one is version 3, which is supposed to have a lot of improvements. And I don't know, my cursor will show, but right here, this particular ad says this is V3, and it's marked on the device itself. Right there, you can see it's marked V3. So that's the one you want to get. And it's only $25. So that's where it's happening. Apologize that I haven't done any shows. I was hoping that I could do the review of this thing next, but the weather is starting to pass. If we go back to the weather map, you can see this big line here, which stretches way out into the Gulf. This line has been over Pinellas County for almost 24 hours. And now it finally has moved to the southeast. So we are clear now, and maybe, things will start drying out. Maybe we'll see that golden thing in the sky. I think they call it the sun. Maybe we'll see that. We haven't seen that for 5 or 6 days. And, boy, I could not live in a city where you can't see the sun. So anyway, that's the show. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. And anybody that lives up in this area where this hurricane is, we're thinking about you and hope it passes soon. Bye-bye.